Hi there, it's Karen here. Welcome back, and once again we're working on the Alternate Index Challenge 2025. Here's the prompt list, and it's hosted by Suzanne at Non-Stop Paper Crafts, and I will link her channel below, and she will always have posted a video relating to the prompt that I'm uploading today. Hers will already be up for the prompt because she does hers a few days before me. But I don't watch hers until I don't watch hers until I've done mine. So today's prompt, we're on week 31 and it's recycling. So as is often the case, I have struggled with this prompt, not really knowing quite. It's more a case of having an idea of how it should look. Recycling, we all do recycling. That's what we do. That's what junk journals are. So if you're doing junk journals, you're recycling pretty well every day anyway. So, but how to make this onto a card in a way that would make sense, that was what I've struggled with. So I'll see how it goes. I've got to pull a few things out. All of it is something that's being recycled, as far as I can tell. So we'll see. I mean, obviously, the decorative part might not be recycling, but the actual bases will be recycling. So I think what I'm going to do before I actually do anything recycling wise, I just thought I'd give the card some colour, or a bit of colour. I'm not going to do it too bold because I want what I'm putting on the card to show up. I don't want them to clash. So I just thought I'd give it a bit of background colour with some distress ink. In fact, I think I might, I was going to just do it with my little brush, but it won't really show up. So I think I might do it where I wet it and just put some colour on, which is something Suzanne does quite a lot. And I think I have done it recently in a journal, but I've not really done it much in this challenge. So I think I'm going to do that now. I've just made up my mind just that moment. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to use Stormy Sky because I didn't really want a really bold colour, but I did want something on here as a background. And I thought, no, I'm not going to stencil, I'm just going to add colour. This is a nice sort of grey-blue sort of colour. So I'll see how it looks. Just need to get my water bottle as I hadn't got it out. Or I hadn't got it handy because I hadn't thought about doing this until this very moment. So I'm just going to give that a little squirt. And just kind of smoosh it around. It's quite wet. That's all right. This card can take it. I'm just going to get a bit of kitchen towel and just trying to dab it off so it just don't want a solid colour. I like this bit. I'm not so sure about this solid bit. I think I may have overdone it. As I said, I don't do it very often. I think I've overdone it this time, but never mind. Right, I think that's enough of that. And I want to go round the edge of the card as well, give it a bit of a border. And I think I'm going to do that with some, I mean, they're just random colours really. There's no particular reason for any particular colour, but I've picked out brushed corduroy to go round the edges. And no reason other than I thought it would be a bit of a contrast to the blue. And give us a bit of a frame for the card. Okay. So that's done. That's fine. It's not a very different colour to the vintage photo, really. It's very similar. So while that dries, I thought the first thing I thought of when I was thinking of recycling was I'd kept for some years now a little pot with old shopping tags in. I think this is when I used to do a bit of art journaling, and I thought I might use them, and I never did. But I kept them for some strange reason. I kept all these tags, bits of tags from different clothing. I stopped after a while. I've got quite a few. And then I thought, well, I'm never going to use them, but I didn't really like to throw them away. I don't, you know what we like, we just keep things just in case. So I've just pulled out a few. I'm not going to use them all. Some different ones, and this one is actually more of a little card from Heathrow Airport. Go by pod. We did that one year. A couple of times I think we've done it, where you stay in the hotel, and to get into the airport you get in this little pod. It's on an electric railway, and you get in this little vehicle, and it just comes around, and you hop on and hop off, and it's just a lot of fun. I'd stay there overnight just to go on the pod, because we just thought it was great fun to do that. Anyway, I don't know why, I've still got this little card. So I thought, well, maybe I could have a journaling card and a tag of some sort. What do you need for those? We need a pocket. So I pulled out this piece of Tim Holtz stencil packaging, and I thought, well, maybe I'll just take this piece off and make it into a pocket. So that's what I think I'm going to do. And we're just going to have a pocket with some tags in. Kind of simple concept, really, but I only just thought of it. Not that it's anything very exciting. I'm not being as creative as I'd have liked, but sometimes you just have to go with the idea that comes to you, don't you? And all I'm going to do is cover it with some packaging, so more recycling. And let's just put this out of the way. So I've got a couple of bits of packaging. I've got this kind of slightly lighter brown. This is all Amazon packaging. That's where we get all our packaging from, isn't it? And this is a darker brown. So I'm thinking I might use this on here, because it's got to cover the background, hasn't it? So I think it needs to have good coverage. So I'm just going to glue that on, but I might texture it up a bit, I'm thinking. So let's just cut a piece off. When I say texture it up, I mean kind of squidge it a bit. I've not done that before either. Seen a lot of other people do it, but I haven't tried it, so I thought I would. I'm just doing a bit different today for me. Going really very mixed media-y. Well, not in comparison to some people. Some people have got it, do brilliant mixed media stuff, but for me it's a little bit different. So I don't know how, is this a bit thick to squidge? Maybe what I should do, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done that. No, I can't. I suddenly thought perhaps I should screw it up and then slip it on. That's what I should do. Get a bit of texture going, shall we? Why not? So, and then it won't lie as flat perhaps. So maybe put a little bit more glue on just to make sure. Okay. Screw it up. So I'm just kind of playing, because I really didn't have much of an idea of what I wanted to do. So I just thought, I'll stick some packaging on some other packaging. Really is what it. I don't want it to flatten too much. I just kind of want a bit of, I don't know, a bit of interest going on. It's not particularly dimensional because I'm not very good at it, but oh, there's glue on the back of it for some reason. Don't know why, I've got glue on the back. Don't want that, do we? Otherwise the the pocket will glue itself shut if I've got glue there. Don't know how that got on there. I think what I might do though is glue this over the top. Whoops. And I'm thinking I might put a little something. Do I want a gusset on this? I don't usually do gussets. No, let's not make life complicated. This isn't junk journaling. This is just doing a mixed media card. I'm trying to overcomplicate things. So then I'm thinking I need to use some gesso. That's not something I use very often, but I do have some. Quite a lot of it, really, considering I don't use it really very much. And it's quite wet, or perhaps it needs a shake. It's a bit runny. Need a good shake. That's a bit better. And this is a piece of packaging as well that I'm using to put my gesso in. And I thought I might try using a piece of this bubble wrap to apply it onto my card. Let's see. Don't need much, just wanted to get rid of that brown background really. Give it another suggestion of texture as well. Okay. Right, so what else do we want to do? Didn't I wipe it? Where's my... I had a wipe. Where did it go? There it is. Just wipe the gesso off the background. Okay. Just glue that down a little bit because it's coming up. Shall I do a little thumb notch? I think probably I will. Just a small one because it's a small pocket. Okay. And I'm not going to ink. I'm resisting the urge to ink. Okay, so that's a little bit tacky, so I'm going to put that to one side and we'll cover the tags next. So I'll just need to see from the pocket size which ones will go best. I didn't know if this would be too big, but it'd be nice to have a journaling card type of thing, little card, and then a small or a narrow tag maybe tucked in behind it. Yeah, something like that, I think. I'll use those two. These two can be put aside for another time. So I really only need to cover this piece, don't I? This needs to be covered completely, so I use the... I don't want this one to be crumpled, so I'm going to use this piece that I started using. Is it wide enough? Yes, it is. So let's put some glue on here. Where do I want? Can't remember where the glue was. I think the glue was on that side before, although it's dried now. sure it's on properly. And I'm going to need to back it because it's a journal card, not that I'm going to use it as such, but nevertheless, oh, I wonder, how far would that go if I wrapped it around? Nearly far enough. I wonder if that would be, yeah, maybe I'll just do that. That there. Yeah, why not? Just cover it up. Going to first of all cut this down so that I can see where the edges are at least. This isn't a journaling card that anybody's going to actually journal on, so it is just in the name of covering up this backing. So don't need a lot, just enough to cover that gap really. Where is it? Is it going to go there? That's it. There we are. It's just covered. Okay, so that's the card, and I'm just wondering what I want to put over this. Might just, don't want a piece of, maybe a bit of book page, because that's all recycling, isn't it? Just put a piece of this. There. Grab a couple of bits. Different colour. Why not? I'm going to do that. That. Bit of this. Whoops. And just a little tiny bit of something else just down here, maybe a bit of music. What we got? I've got my little pot of tiny pieces here. Sometimes you don't really want to. Ooh, great big bit. I just put the little pieces in here that I can just pull out if I need a little bit of something. There, or just have it going like that. Yeah, maybe I'll just do that, because I'm going to gesso over this as well, but quite lightly, I think. I'll try to. there's that one. Yeah, I like that. I like that most of all, I think. Right, so I'm just going to do a little bit of, where are we? Which is the one? This one. Just do the corners on the tag, is the word. I need a bigger one. That's the really big one. No, do this one. Whoop. Right, I've got our tag. Don't know how much more I want to do on that actually. Whether I do want to do any gessoing, maybe just a little bit round the edge, I don't know. And this one I'm going to round the corners because I want to make it into more of a journal card type thing. Okay, so I just need to put a little bit of gesso on here. Use this little spongy thing. I'm putting the gesso on because I want to do some stamping, and I want to add some colour. So I want to kind of more or less get rid of the brown, but not completely, because you want to be able to still see that that's the original thing that we're using is the recycled packaging. Okay, so that's enough of that, and I think maybe I'll put a little bit just around the edges of the little tag. Just a little bit around the edge. Where are we? Don't even know if you can see that. I've got it there. Not entirely sure what effect I'm going for here. I just thought I'd try it because it's not something I do. Of course I'm getting covered in gesso on my hands. Never mind. Okay. There's those two. Starting to look less like their original state and a bit more like something decorative, hopefully. Okay, so what we're going to do with the pocket. Don't need that. I want to add a little bit of colour to that, so I'm trying to think. I pulled some colours out and I'm not entirely sure if they're the right ones. I've got some sprays, but I don't know quite if I've done the right thing. This is a Hydro Swap Colour Shine. I don't even know if it will spray. I may have to drip, but it's got a shine to it. And the colour is teal. Maybe I'll get some of these other bits out the way because they might get caught in the crossfire. These sprays are a bit wayward, if they work at all, which of course this one is not going to because it's so old and it's probably blocked up. So there's not a lot in there actually. I'm wondering whether to drip and smoosh. Drip and smoosh? What is that technique? No idea. Okay, that's the drip. I'm going to try and smoosh. Maybe I'll use a bit of that, bit of this again. Try use another little bit of this and just sort of move it around. Okay, drip and dab is the technique I've decided to adopt. Ooh, yeah. But we're getting some gorgeous colour. Getting all over there. And when it dries, it's got a lovely shine to it. This stuff is beautiful, but I haven't got much left. It is one I have used a fair bit in the past. Just not so much lately. So that will have to dry. But, oh, this is coming up a little bit. I'll have to glue these down a little bit when that's dry as well. So yeah, that's going to look lovely. Put that to one side. And let's give this a little rip. Okay, just wondering what's the best colour to use on here. Okay, so I'm raiding my stash of sprays now, and they're all pretty old, and they've all been acquired as part of a hip kit. When I was doing scrapbooking, there's a hip kit club that I belong to, and I used to get things, buy a kit every month, and I often used to buy the mixed media kit as well for some unbeknown reason. And so I've got all these sprays, and this is a Lindy's Stamp Gang Starburst spray in cotton candy pink. So shall we give that a go? See if we can see what colour we can add to this card. Okay, I think that will do it. We will set that aside for a second while I just mop up the overflow. Probably getting pink on my other card as well. No, I think it's escaped just about. So let's just wipe this down. Okay. Sorry about this horrible background. I probably should have got. Let's put one that's a little bit cleaner underneath, shall we? We'll see a bit better. Alright. So that one, I don't really want to have to dry it, but I might have to. It's quite wet, but I'm going to put that aside for the minute. And have a look at the other little tag. I've got this one. And I do want to add a little bit of colour on here. I've got another Lindy Stamp Gang I pulled out. This is another Starburst spray, and this one is called Mad Hatter Mint. They do come up with some weird and wonderful names for these things, don't they? So I'm going to give this give a little shake. Give this a try. See how this one looks and get the top off. It's a bit tight. That's it. Okay, let's go with the Mad Hatter Mint this time. Okay. I didn't want too much, I like that. Okay. Love it. So it's got a quite slightly different effect to the pink one. This one's more sprayed out, like a softer spray, and this one's a bit more splotchy looking. So that's good. They look a bit different, even though they did the same thing. But they're always a bit unpredictable, I think, when you spray. So I think what I need to do is just get my heat tool out and get these all dry. Get the pocket out as well. I'll get them dry, and then let's see what we do next. Right, these are all dry now. I feel like now it's dry, this one needs a bit more colour. So this is looking gorgeous. It's got that. I don't know if you can catch the light, catching the shine on this, but I really like that. This one I'm really happy with as well, because I didn't want that too covered with colour, because it's got the pink in the background and it's got the book page on there, so that's fine. But this one needs a bit more colour, so I pulled out another one of my old sprays. This is a Prima spray in Wild Raspberry. It's a fine shimmer spray, so we'll see how that turns out. I think it's a slightly different shade, so I'm just going to do it. I don't know how that's going to work out, so I think it's a bit darker, so I'm just going to try to do a little bit at the bottom. Oh gosh, yeah, that's quite a lot, so I'm just going to drip that down a bit, and then we'll blot it. That kind of, okay. That's going to be interesting. So I'll just get the old kitchen towel out and just see how that looks, because that gives it a bit more kind of, I don't know, bit of a pattern. I like that. Yeah, that's a bit better. Maybe a little bit more. It's hard to stop, isn't it, when you start with these things, because it's fun. Like that a lot, actually. A bit more here. You can see the shimmer in it when you spray it. You probably can't tell from on camera, but there's definitely some shimmer in there as well. I'm loving these shimmery sprays. I don't know why I don't use them more, really. Just that they're hard to control. I think that's probably what it is. So a quick dab. Okay, I think that will do nicely. Going to let that dry now. So that's that one. That's just drying. So what was I going to do with my pocket? That's what I've been thinking. And I think because I really love the colour and they've got a little bit of texture in it, not quite as much as I'd planned, but it has got a bit across the bottom there. Can you see that? Where I scrunched it a bit, it's not got as much as I hoped, but I've not done it before, so it's not bad for a first attempt in my mind. So what I thought I'd do, I've got quite a few bits of recycled fabrics knocking around. A lot of my fabrics I have bought in packs, or by fat quarters and things. But I've got a few bits here that actually my sister gave me some bits that were cut up from some clothing. And this piece, I've got quite a bit of this. I don't know whether it was a top, I think. And I've used it a bit. I've used it, I think I used it on my snippet roll for my Owls and Fairies journal. But this piece came already with its own sewn-on button. So I thought, well, that'd be good to have a button on there as a bit of a kind of focal point. And I think all I'm going to do is have a little cluster on here because I think that's all it needs. So I think I might have a bit of lace, maybe a couple of bits of lace. I've got this. It's an old handkerchief, really pretty old handkerchief with this lovely lacy border, or embroidered border I suppose it is. So I thought perhaps I'll put a bit of that underneath. Maybe a bit too big. Gonna go like that. And maybe a little something else. Have I got any more that was recycled? Maybe. There's a bit of old French lace. I'm not sure about that one. My granddaughter's been in here. She was in here yesterday. We had her for the day, and we were up in my craft room, and I said, do you want to make a snippet roll? And she looked at me, and I said, you just stick lots of bits of, really these little scraps of fabric on this long piece, other piece of white fabric. She went, oh yes please, and she had a lovely time with my scrap box. This scrap box, just dipping in, pulling out little bits of fabric and gluing them all on. She ended up with a really long snippet roll, and she added some butterflies and some bits of lace, and she had a lovely time, and I sewed it all for her. And she enjoyed herself, and then she took it home and said, look what I made, Mummy and Daddy. They looked completely blank. They hadn't got a clue what it was she'd made, but she was very pleased with it. So I thought, well, I'm introducing her to the world of junk journaling, even though she doesn't really know it yet. Well, she does kind of know. So anyway, this is an old piece of something or other I got from a charity shop, which I have dyed. I think that's avocado dyed. And I could put that under there just for another little extra layer and a little extra bit of colour. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this background piece down a little bit. I don't need quite as much as that, and I don't really want this curled up bit. Yeah, so they're going, oh, that's lovely, darling, well done. What on earth is she doing? What is Mum teaching her to do? But I said, well, it's all about the process, isn't it? It's about having fun, doing something you enjoy, even if you don't know what you're going to do with it at the end. It's kind of what this challenge is a bit about. Having fun with the creative process. Ooh, smooshing the colour now. Okay, I'm going to put that on there. Then a little bit of the dyed recycled lace. This is all recycled. But my idea, I suppose, was to recycle something kind of, functional but not particularly pretty, and make it into something beautiful. So I'm doing my best to do that. Whoop. I want to stand up. I think I need some fabric glue for this last piece because it's a bit heavier with the button on. So it needs a stronger glue. Right, so that's in my pocket with this little cluster of recycled fabric and lace. So that can now go onto our card, I think. goes on there. So I'm going to, I think I use a bit of art glitter glue. This is all I have left. And I may go back to it when I've used up the other glue. This is so much easier to work with. It does blend into the background a little bit, but I really had no idea how it was all going to look, so I'm not going to worry. Actually, what I was thinking of doing, that's right, I was going to do a little bit of something more on the background, so I might do that next. Should have done that before I glued on my pocket, but never mind. No biggie. I thought I might just add a little bit of script on the back. That's what I thought, it needed a little something more. So see if I've got it the right way up. It's hard to tell, but I think that's roughly right. Okay. Yep, that's a bit better. Gives it more of a background. I like that more. Oop. Just merrily stamping away on my background. Craft mat. Right, so let's have a look at these cards and get these finished off. So we've got this one and we've got this one. So I want to use some stamps, and I've got this little set of stamps. I hardly ever remember to get them out, but I thought I would today. I bought them as a pack from Amazon. The little wooden stamps, and I think this one would look nice on here, but I want to put it onto something else first. I might do the same on here actually as well. So what should we put on this one? Maybe a bigger one. So let's try. So I've got some of this, I think it's calico, I don't know, it was a little bag. I think I mentioned it when I was using some of this the other day. It was a bag that was used for, I think it had some giveaway stuff from a company. I can't remember even who it was now. But I just cut it up. So again, it's been recycled because it was a bag, and now it's just a piece of fabric that I can use. And I think I'm going to stamp on it and put the stamps on here with the little pictures on. That's the idea. Okay, and I like to fray them. I think it looks more interesting because they're going to fray anyway unless you sew them. So I think it might be a little wide. I want to see the background still. So now I've got the challenge of cutting it down a little bit. I'm not going to be able to do that, am I? No. I just have to cut it and then try and fray it a bit more after. It doesn't seem to mind fraying a little bit, so we'll get there. Okay, so then that's that piece. On there. And we want quite a narrow piece for on here. No. So I might try stamping on it first and then cutting it down. So this one, I think, because it looks a bit narrow, it may not be. So they're all the same size, but I probably just use a narrower piece of fabric actually on it. I'm wondering if that'd still be too wide, so I'm happy with that. I'll have to cut this down. Just wipe the corners and the edges just in case. I don't want any borders, any bits that I don't need. Oh, and I think I might get my little book. Might stamp on my little book. And do it quite well over to the side. This side. And then I'll cut it to size. So that one can go on here. And this one, I'm going to use this. Is this the same one? Yeah, the same one. This one I want. And this one definitely needs wiping around. You can see it's got a lot of ink around the edge of this one. Okay. Yep, that's come out all right. I'm just wondering, actually, I might put a little something else on this one because I've got my field notes stamps, my Tim Holtz field notes. That looks a little bit lost on there, so I think I might, maybe I'll put some sort of number on it as well. Add a couple of other little bits. There. Maybe that. That's too big really. Don't know. Let's put this over here. Okay, so this little block. I'll put this. Whoops, where's it gone? Okay. Just going to put this on here as well. Yep. And I'm going to, I might just give this a try. Bit of glue stick. Glue stick's pretty good on this sort of thing, really. And I want a tiny scrap of something. What can I use? Tiny scrap of lace. Yes, I can use a tiny scrap of lace just at the top. Don't even need as much as that. Which is the right way around? Is it even possible to tell? I think this is the back. Okay, the last little bit of recycling. It's gone on there. And we have a little bit of string that came off of something or other. No idea what. And that's going to go through the hole to complete our tag. Okay, there's the recycled tag, or tag made from recycling. It's going to go in my pocket. Going to go there. Let's just finish off our little journal card now. I've got this. I'm just going to glue this on in the same way. Okay, and then I'm going to just take that one off. Put my little number on. Oop. Stick on, please. It's going to go there. Alright, and then the next little piece, where's my, just get the wet wipe on. Piece, and then I'm just going to have this little circle. I think, will that go in that corner? Yes, I think it'll just go down in that bottom corner. Just to finish that off. Doesn't mean anything. I quite like it the right way up though. So I'm using my pine cone for these, although it looks black. And right down in this corner. Those stamps are just so brilliant, these Tim Holtz stamps. They never let you down. And one last little bit to go on this. I've got another little bit of fabric that came from my sister, and I just think that goes really well. It's got the green and the pink, so the green from the other tag, from the tag. And I'm just going to, I don't know if that's too wide or too long, I don't know. I think I want to scrunch it up a bit, but it is a bit too big. It's a bit too big. I'm going to cut it. Tearing wasn't hugely successful. And then what I want to do, I don't want it to go right the way across. I'm going to just start it about here, and I'm going to scrunch. I don't know if it works so well with a glue stick. It may not. Although this is very thin fabric, so it might do. I'm going to use a bit of art glitter glue to help it sit flat. Just a little crumpled up piece of recycled pretty fabric. All right there. Do I need a little bit of lace on here? No, maybe. I'll bring that little piece in. That tiny little scrap. Take that thick edge off. Yep, I am going to bring that in. Right, so let's put this on our card, in our pocket. Where's it gone? Here's our card with our pocket. And I'm just going to pop that in here. Just get a little bit more glue under this, so make sure it stays down. And we'll pop that in there. And we have one finished card. I may need a phrase or something here, but I haven't got anything in my mind, so I'm not going to worry about it. So that is week 31 recycled, and pretty much everything here is recycled. So I hope you enjoyed that. I had no idea where I was going with it, but I'm really pleased how it's turned out. I enjoyed using my sprays and yeah, putting these things together. So yeah, it's been lots of fun. So thank you for coming along with me. I hope you join me again next time. The next prompt I may not be doing. I really don't think that's going to work for me. The next one, it's school days. I don't have anything that would really make me feel... School days are so long ago for me. I'm not sure I can think of anything to do for school days, so I might have to do something else next week. We'll see. Unless any inspiration strikes. Otherwise, I'll do something else. But apart from that, I'm having lots of fun. So I will see you soon. Bye for now.